Bombshells facing Trump's DOJ. 3 whistleblowers now have complaints that involve the top DOJ official up for this judgeship, Melber, who's facing the final vote as soon as tonight, but it's looming no matter what this week. Lawmakers rushing because some don't want to let the whistleblower complaints get traction or more investigation, which is usually what's necessary, particularly when there's no particular urgency to finish the vetting of a lifetime judge. This complaint includes the allegation of direct law-breaking or violating court orders that Bovee told his own subordinates they might have to say F you to the court.
This week is officially the FU week.
Bovee stated that DOJ would need to consider telling the courts you.
Silence overtook the room.
He said it because we have seen the Department of Justice disobey court orders.
Career Republicans, career Democrats who serve in the Department of Justice would be equally appalled at that.
A third whistleblower says this same individual, Bovee, misled lawmakers about, of course, what went down in that suspicious or unusual dismissal of charges against the New York Mayor Eric Adams, while there was also talk about some sort of deal over immigration policy. Judiciary Committee Democrats want a probe. And we have a special guest on the inside of all this. Andrew Buckeye is Chief Legal Counsel at Whistleblower Aid. So he represents one of the anonymous DOJ whistleblowers in this case about both ignoring court orders and other reports from inside. Welcome tonight.
Thank you for having me on.
What's most important about your client's account and the other corroboration here as the Senate still considers this vote?
Absolutely, and I think it's important to realize where we are in this very moment. So tonight, as early as tonight, as 8 or 8:30, Melber, a former attorney for Donald Trump, who's being considered for a lifetime appointment on a federal to be a federal judge, is looming. And we represent at whistleblower.org a former Department of Justice senior litigation attorney from the Office of Immigration Litigation. And our client has provided evidence to the Department of Justice Office of Inspector General that establishes that senior government officials, and when they look through those documents, it would involve Mr. Bovee, directed line attorneys to mislead, at best, Judge Boasberg in the deportation cases here in D.C. Okay, that's what the disclosure is about. Now, I can't get into the specifics. Erez Ruveni, one of the other whistleblowers, the first whistleblower, is extraordinarily brave and has come forward detailing all the issues. Because my client is a former DOJ attorney and because of their ethical obligations to their former client, the Department of Justice, we took a slightly different approach and went directly to the Inspector General. But what happened today, what I learned today, is quite surprising. So let me go over a brief chronology of events. So on May 2nd
and I'll warn
of this
you,
year,
for your benefit, I've got about 2.5 minutes.
Yep.
Use that time as you see fit, Counselor.
On May 2nd of this year, our client filed a disclosure with a DOJ IG providing documentation about senior government officials misleading Judge Boasberg. Okay, that was before Emil Bove's nomination. The reason why our client came forward as soon as they did was so that way DOJ IG, somebody in a position of authority, had the ability to conduct an investigation and correct any wrongdoing. Now, our client FedExed that document. They filed a disclosure online through the online portal. That same day, the documents were FedExed to DOJ IG. DOJ IG received those documents on May 5th. We only learned today that the DOJ IG found the documents. They lost the documents. They found them yesterday, our disclosure. So the question is, what happened? So, and by the way, on June 13th, I sent correspondence to the Senate Judiciary Committee to alert them of a disclosure that our client filed on May 2nd, so that way they can go back and reach back to DOJ IG to find out what the status of that investigation is. And here we are today.
And so I'll jump in. I mean, yeah, here we are. And I was going to jump in and say, bottom line, we've seen vetting of judicial nominees, Supreme Court nominees, processes take time. We've seen calls for FBI background checks. Does it look to you like there's any serious review being done, or like both the IG and the Senate are just trying to rubber stamp it?
Well, I wouldn't. I don't want to say that the IG or anybody in particular, that the IG is trying to rubber-stamp it, but there are certainly questions to what happened between May 2nd or May 5th when they received the documents and yesterday. What happened? And right now, I can safely say that we have members in the Senate who are going to be potentially casting a vote on a lifetime appointment without all the facts. We know that historically, the Senate has slow-rolled a lot of judicial nominations in the past. There is no reason to rush this forward now, right? I mean, here we are.
Like many things
hours.
these days, yeah. Like many things, I'm laughing, but not really because it's funny, more because it's laughable. But again, you have an anonymous client. We heard about the other one I mentioned in the FU scandal. We will stay on this. We've invited, of course, people from the DOJ to hear their side, but also the whistleblowers, if they come forward, if they're not anonymous, and their counsel in this case, to stay on these stories. So we will do that. We'll also watch the vote. Andrew Buckeye, thank you. I'm going to fade a break, but when we come back, thank you. Why Wall Street Journal and Fox News, sister outlets, are going opposite ways, splintering as Trump demands Murdoch testify. We are not far into this second term of the Trump administration, but we are seeing a MAGA revolt, anger from Megyn Kelly and others about the Trump playbook because apparently they don't like it when it's turned on them rather than some other supposed people. Well, this is a theory with big government, autocratic-leaning efforts. Most people don't like them unless they think it's never going to affect them. And so here we are with Trump going after Rupert Murdoch, who of course owns Fox News and I should say Wall Street Journal through his empire. Now Trump is using his powers, trying to get judges to compel his, quote, very good friend Rupert Murdoch to go under oath within basically 2 weeks because of the Journal reported on that, quote, racy birthday greeting that they say Trump sent to Epstein. We should note Trump's not only denied that, but sued the Journal over the story. The whole situation, though, more broadly splitting this Murdoch empire. Because Murdoch's empire is breaking the bombshell news with one hand, that's that Wall Street Journal account with those lawsuits to boot, while Axios notes it's largely ignoring it and defending Trump on Fox News with the other. There are many legal battles that Trump is waging, of course, against the press. And while people might think the Wall Street Journal leans one way, or they think Disney leans the other, or Meta and X are now warmer towards Trump, notice that he's demanding payouts from everybody while abusing government power to go after universities and law firms and abusing, according to many, the FCC's regulatory approval over this now $8 billion merger to get concessions out of CBS for basic things like reporting on the campaign or interviewing his opponent, Kamala Harris. Just last night, we heard from an FCC insider, the Democrat on the commission, saying that Trump is weaponizing something that's supposed to be used for fairness and instead is undermining the First Amendment itself. We will stay on these stories, and we'll be right back.